This is an orthokeratology case where the patient is having some trouble with glare at nighttime and also with up-close vision. Um, One of the lenses looked like was overcorrecting a little bit, and so we do want to adjust the power in that eye, and I think you're pretty comfortable doing that. As far as the glare goes, the post-ROY topographies do show that the lenses are decentering temporally a little bit, and that can definitely contribute to glare, and possibly just the treatment zones are a little bit smaller than what the patient needs. And in large pupil situations, the patient has issues with vision. So, looking at the original lenses in G-SIM design, and I think that's perfectly fine for this cornea. Changing over to a freeform lens, I'm not sure is necessary, and I do like to use simpler designs just because they're easier to troubleshoot, and many times they do a very good job. So if we stayed with the G-SIM lens and wanted the lens to center a little bit better, not move out to the temporal side of the cornea as much, best way to do that is to increase sagittal depth of the lens. So I would just click down here until we get about 10 to 12 microns of central clearance. So maybe one more. And then maybe just touch up the lift on this side a little bit. So that's pretty even, and we can maybe bump one more. Okay, so now we have a lens that's a little bit deeper, and that should help with centration. The size of the treatment zone, I'm finding that, especially if we don't have too much room in the periphery to make the OZ and IC bigger, also we want more of the lens to stabilize, more of the lens periphery to stabilize the centration of the lens. We don't want to sacrifice too much of that landing zone. And so something else that might help is adding in asphericity. And what you'll notice is that right now we've got an estimated treatment zone of about 4.9 millimeters, and we just want to see if we can push that back toward the green line a little bit more. So I usually start with 0.2, which seems to be a pretty good starting point. Before we add that in, we want to see that our current topo demand, which is working well for this right eye, is 4.12, and so we want to maintain that with the new lens that we're going to order. Adding the asphericity, you'll see changes the power significantly, also change the topo demand. So we were at 412 before. I'm going to just drop down until we're at 412 again. You'll see that the power of the lens still looks funny, and that's just because Wave is trying to match the asphericity of the curve with the power of the lens. I wouldn't worry too much about the power except to make it uniform all the way around. And I'll show you what I mean. We have a minus 0.39 right now, but in other meridians you can see we've got, in some cases more than a quarter diopter difference. So in 25% mode, I am going to match everything as close to the 39 as I can. That's pretty good. Okay, so we're more uniform all the way around the lens. And making that change, so you'll see that I changed the topo demand again, so I'm going to go back to 100% and click down until 412, which was our initial. So now our power is 52, and if we spin around, it should be pretty uniform all the way around, and that does look pretty good. So now we've got a treatment zone of approximately 6.4, and so that is a little bit bigger than what we started with. Hopefully this lens will center a little bit better and take care of some of the complaints that your patient is having. For the left eye, you can make the same changes. Leave it in GSIM. Make your power change first. You had subtracted a diopter power from the lens because the patient was about a diopter over minus, and that's fine. So you set the new power, and then you can add in the asphericity and match the topo demand to what it is. Maybe I'll pull up the left lens and do a quick run through on that. Okay, here's the left lens. This is the eye where the patient is over minus by about a diopter. So we're going to reduce this power all the way down to about a 0.2. Our new topo demand is 331. Next thing I'm going to do is get a little bit more sagittal depth to the lens, and that looks good. Add in our asphericity. Readjust our topo demand so we're at 331, and then we'll even out the individual meridians. Okay, so we have a new lens, in this case with reduced demand. It is a little bit deeper, has a little bit more sagittal depth to it, and we've also added asphericity to see if we can push the treatment zone out a little bit closer to the size of the pupil. So hopefully this works out well for your patient, and thanks for watching.